to the Munchkin Minute, your body look into some tabletop gaming news and more. I'm your host, Dan, the Board Game Man, and this is your news for early to kind of mid-August 2025. So I'm really sorry this one is a little bit late. Life gets in the way sometimes. When it rains, it pours. There's always something going on, it seems like. But I am back from Gen Con, and I'm going to give some news and a few of my picks for my Gen Con hotness from what I really saw at the show. So let's get off starting on a great foot here with Thunderworks Games. So I saw a couple of games that were played a lot of places. So Fliptoons is kind of a smaller game with just a smaller card game. And then there was Citizens of the Spark, which is also kind of a card, tableau or drafting game. But Fliptoons is very, very small, whereas Citizens of the Spark is a little bigger, but not even kind of that large. So Fliptoons, again, by Thunderworks Games, designed by Jordi Allen and Renato Simones. I've seen this one on on BGA quite a bit lately, and a lot of people have been talking about this one. I saw it played a lot. Very fun little it's a little hard one to explain, but it is a very quick taking kind of drafting game where you're kind of, set collection, drafting, and kind of almost deck building type way, but it is a lot of fun and it is very quick to play. And Citizens of Spark is a little bit longer, but I think it plays a little bit better at the larger player count. I played this one at 3 and at 4. It's just an absolute blast. Real simple. On your turn, you're taking one of the 3 rows of 3 cards, putting those citizens into your kind of tableau, and then deciding if you want to use the actions of one of those citizens. And that's going to give you some points, maybe help you manipulate your board a little bit, maybe even attack some people. There's 30 different citizens in the game box, and you're only using anywhere from 8 to 10, depending on how many players you're using. And it plays very well, very easy to teach, and is just an absolute blast. I think that one was about $55. I think Fliptoons is only about $20 or so. So another big hotness I saw at the show was, of course, Chip Theory Games, The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. Now, this is a game I've been talking about for a long time. This was my number one to buy game. It is a little pricey. I think it's about $225 or so, but it is such an amazingly large, fun game to play. The demos were just absolutely hopping at Gen Con, and I just kept finding myself gravitating when I was on that side of the hall, just looking to see maybe, and there's different people demoing, maybe hear a little bit something different from their views of the game, and then just listening to people talk about their questions and stuff, just watching this game on the table. It's amazing. Chip Theory does like among the best production value of anybody out there. So you're getting way more than you're buying, you're paying for in that box, because the production value, the dice, the chips, the neoprene mats, the, kind of the boards that they're using, the mats, everything is just amazing on how good it is. Now what they're coming out with soon is there's a new crowdfunding that'll be coming up before the end of the year. It'll be live. I'm sure I'll mention it before the end of the, when it does come live, but it's supposed to have a new, there's going to be a reprint just to get more, boxes out there. So this is going to have a reprint, a couple of new areas, 2 new classes to use in the game, some other things to kind of spice up gameplay, as they say, and an all-in-one storage solution for the extra stuff that will be coming out. And I believe they already have 1 or 2 expansions out for this. So that'll be a really good thing to add there. But just check this one out. I know that this is, like I say this a lot especially when I cover GameFound stuff. My God, the GameFound stuff I cover is always huge and really pricey. But if this is something that you can afford, I can tell you that this isn't just a flash in the pan. This is just kind of a really cool game system that we've talked a lot on Discord, even Major Spoilers Discord and on the Geek All-Stars Discord. We've got a few people that have been playing this and just have nothing but great things to say about this. Speaking with this, kind of sticking with that same kind of theme of those big, overly large games that I love in a fantasy setting, I've always talked about Gloomhaven, as we know, and I went to their Cephalofair booth. They unveiled the new Mercenary Packs, and they were selling some each day. They're releasing them, and of course, I wasn't able to grab any. I think the day I was talking to Isaac, they sold out as I was talking to him, and I didn't get a chance to grab them some. So these packs are 4 new characters you can play in your games in Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, Jaws of the Lion, any of the games. You can drop these characters just in. As soon as you buy them, they are quote unquote unlocked. So I don't think there's anything in there to help you unlock them. But these are all characters from the Gloomhaven series that you'll recognize if you play Gloomhaven or Frosthaven and such. You usually encounter them as NPCs or kind of maybe allies and such. And I think one of them was also part of an expansion from Gloomhaven. So these are all the different mercenaries you can get. And they do play a little bit different. He showed me where I was kind of talking to Isaac. He was showing me some of the cards for some of them and then explaining the game, the way they play, and they all play a little bit different and all have some really cool mechanics. First, you have Hale, the irritable enchanter. You remember her from Gloomhaven. Anafi, Fallen Lion. Satha, who is the mayor of Frosthaven. And then Cassandra, the Forgotten Diviner. I'm pretty sure that's a Diviner class that you get unlocked from Forgotten Circles, that first expansion. It was just an okay expansion for Gloomhaven, but the Diviner is one that everybody really seems to love. They're all now available. I'll have a link to their site where you can buy them. They're only $20 each to get those as well. Next up, a game I played at the con and I liked quite a bit. It got some good buzz too. It's called Koi, basically like the fish, like a koi pond from DV Games. This one I believe is about $45. You'll recognize the gameplay as kind of the next iteration of Bonsai that they put out with the same designers. That one was back in 2023. It's the same designers and it's very similar gameplay. In Koi, basically what you're doing is on your turn, you're either going to draft a card from kind of the row of cards and then get a little reward or some other extra stuff. And then you'll get the immediate rewards to do things, or you're going to put them into your tableau. The other thing you can do in turn is you can run said tableau with kind of the actions, because workers that'll go into your tableau will give you extra actions. Now, the whole main premise of this game is you're kind of setting up and building your own koi pond. There'll be some water. There'll be these little kind of temples or things that you're building. There'll also be kind of like a rock path you can build on there. And as you're doing these things, it's kind of there will be some cards that'll be out for end game scoring, and you're trying to get there. Now they have these really cool little kind of acrylic tiles that are the koi that you will be then putting into your pond as you get you're going to put everything into this little side storage space, and then you can start building your pond from there. So it's a little bit, kind of a couple extra steps there to do it, but it is a lot of fun. Again, this is the kind of games that I'm really loving. These light to medium weight kind of Euros with some very easy way to get into. You can teach anybody, novice gamers in your family or anytime you get together. It's just such an easy game to teach. It says 45 minutes on BGG. I think you're going to be a little bit longer enough, but it's still kind of a 1 hour wonder. It's going to be a little bit of a teach, but it's not a hard teach. It's going to be a very easy teaching experience, and plays 1 to 4 players. And again, plays very, very smooth and does play pretty quick. Especially has some really cool little, I love the visual spatial of things like this. As you're building your own pond there and a koi are in there, it's really cool to see how everything develops. So this is a really fun one that I think a lot of people will dig. So I mentioned both of these in the past, but I got to see more of UVS Gaming's, the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set. And the big thing, that was a really cool looking set. They had more cards out there. I'll have a link to their site to show it. But the other thing that UVS was showing off that's all the rage, I'm not sure it was for sale yet. Like it says on their site, quote unquote, available now. This is Riftbound. This is the League of Legends CCG that they're putting out. It looks great. I got to talk to some people, but for whatever reason, I just probably didn't hit me. I think I was, you get so busy when you're at the con. But one of the things I kind of was talking about the gameplay and everything, but I know it's supposed to be coming out later this year, but it says available now. I don't know if I haven't seen any in a local game store, and I wasn't sure if, I didn't see people playing it, so I'm not sure if maybe there was a little bit. Anyway, it's something that's upcoming, the Riftbound CCG. That's basically the League of Legends CCG. It looks great, and I think this is going to be kind of a little bit twist on kind of the normal CCG. The normal. When I say the normal, everybody knows about things like either Lorcana or Magic the Gathering. So that's kind of the normal way to play these, and it has a little bit of a twist on that. So I'd love to hear if anybody gets into this one and what they think of it as well. So speaking of CCGs, now this is another one where I kind of talk about the quote-unquote normal CCG. This one is a little bit closer to that. Upper Deck was showing off their new CCG, which is called Rush of Ikorr. Again, that's the very familiar CCG system, like the Magic system, but it incorporates some transparencies, kind of like games like Mystic Vale, and it changes up things in the decks, kind of makes things a little, add some factions to some cards. But it's really cool to see. I saw some of the gameplay there and got to talk to a couple of people at the booth that work for Upper Deck. But the tidbit of news that really interested me, I'm just a little bit different, and I really love deck building games more so than CCGs. I was talking to them, and they said there's new things coming out for Legendary. Now, there's also the biggest thing that, really loved was the fact that they said there's going to be a DC Legendary. And boy, I can't tell you how excited I am for that. I love DC. I love Marvel Legendary. And to see the DC characters in Legendary, even if it's just, who knows, maybe it's just a skin, maybe they just put one character on top of basically the other, mechanics for whatever other characters they're using. But either way, I'm going to love this one. DC characters in Legendary. That system is great. I love DC to deck building games. So seeing the DC characters or DC license in Legendary is going to be absolutely awesome. I will cover more of that. I'm reaching out to them, hoping maybe I can get a little bit of an early taste of this one to cover it a little bit more in the future. A couple of quick hits for things that I only briefly saw. So first up, CD Projekt Red, they unveiled The Witcher Legacy. This is listed on BGG as 2027 release, which kind of sounds about right because it's kind of a bigger box. It's going to be hitting GameFound soon. I'll have more on that, obviously, once it's up in the future. I was at the Man vs. Meeple event on Saturday night. I saw the box on the table and it was out. I didn't realize this wasn't a Witcher thing that was already out. There's been a couple of Witcher things, so I thought it was going to be the one that was coming real soon. But it turns out I'm pretty sure it was this box that was out there. And I looked at it and it just looked absolutely amazing. They were doing some kind of showing off, but I didn't get over there until they cleaned the box up. And I looked at the back of the box. Everything looked really cool. This is a solo or competitive cooperative adventure experience for 1 to 4 players. So solo or cooperative, right up my alley there. It's in one epic campaign that spans multiple scenarios. Again, it's things I absolutely love, and I will probably get in this. I haven't backed things in a while. So when this one comes out, I'll probably go ahead and back this one. It says it's an immersive action adventure board game where you experience rich narrative, meaningful decisions, and exciting mechanics. God, I'm just such a sucker for these type of things. So it looked great, and look forward to that when when it does go up. I will definitely mention it on here. Now, finally, in the game news, my daughter absolutely loves My Hero Academia. So when I saw this announcement at the con, I always kind of mention this game or this theme anytime it's up. I like to mention it here in Munchkin Land. But when I did see it mentioned, I didn't want to cover it. So Catalyst Game Labs is partnering with Crunchyroll to put out My Hero Academia, the miniatures game, and that will be also coming soon to Kickstarter. All the mentioned miniatures will come pre-assembled with high quality pre-paint and a great premium collectible for easy right out of the box plays. I don't really know how it plays, but My Hero Academia is a IP that a lot of people love, and these game companies do a pretty good job with their games and their licenses and such. So this should be a pretty cool one. Let's head on over to some crowdfunding now. So first up, Ascendancy Underworld. Now this is the mega edition of the Ultimate 4X inspired worker placement board game. Now I have regular Ascendancy. I backed it all in. There's a lot of crap in that box. It is a pretty fun game. It's not the greatest solo. I mean, it's a pretty cool solo experience. I got it mostly for the solo, but the game itself is really cool multiplayer. It's one of these things, I don't mean to downplay the game because it is a good game. It just didn't hit me as well as I would like to solo. It's supposed to be kind of the board game version of Heroes of Might and Magic, and it is very much a kind of Euro style fantasy there, where it does have some 4X things. Now this one is the expansion where it has a little bit different tiles, where there are more triangle tiles working more of the underworld. So it's I believe this one is a standalone expansion. This one has a couple of weeks to go as of this recording, and it is well funded. Now again, this is kind of, you may want to look at some videos to see how this one plays, to see if it's up your alley. Again, I backed the base game all in, and it's good, and it is a solid game. But it's a little different than what you may be expecting to see in these. But if you have the regular Ascendancy, the upgrades are $95 for this one. Underworld Ascension, just for all that, is $115, and then there's the Ascendancy Essentials for $135. Everything you need to start playing, the prerequisite for the Underworld expansion. So this one will be needed, I guess, for the gameplay. This probably will need the gameplay of the middle. You will need the base game to get into this one. I thought it was kind of a standalone, but it does not look that way the more I look at this one here. But it does look good, and it is high quality. They do I can't knock the quality at all because everything was really good, and they do a really good job with the rule books and the storage solution. They are putting out a storage box for the base game and this one as well. Next up, this is another one where it was kind of on my to try list for Gen Con. It is now kind of up on Kickstarter. Beasts and Diplomacy, the board game. It's more like a card game. This is from DDP Productions, or Dragon's Dawn Productions. A card drafting game. It's all about opportunity and player interaction. It is kind of a big, sprawling, kind of tableau building card drafting game, and the art is interesting. This one maybe now people will know better than I am. It just has that look. I'm pretty sure somebody had told me that this is some AI art. So if that's something that turns you off, that's kind of a buyer beware, or just kind of a little caveat there that I think this may be a little bit. I think this is more somebody's art that the designer of or the company of have kind of manipulated themselves. So not completely AI, but there is definitely an AI component, I believe, to these. Either way, the game does look pretty good. You can get it on this one for $65. again, if that's something that would turn you off, definitely look into that a little bit more. To see, but again, the game, I've heard from some people that the game is kind of it's a beast, but I do love these type of games. So, no pun intended, beast and diplomacy. But again, it does look good. I do want to try this one out for sure. And it is funded. It just got funded. It's about a week to go. So definitely check that one out if you like those type of games. Next up, Flip Voyage and Fliptown New Frontier. These are two new flip and write games from the designer of Fliptown. This is from Stephen Aramini. He does some amazing flip and write and other type games. There's two different games here, so you can get either one of these for, I believe, about $27 gets you one of them, $29 gets you Flip Voyage, $27 gets you Fliptown New Frontier, and you can get both of them for $52. Again, they're both very light flip and writes. I absolutely love this type of game, and they do look really cool as far as the gameplay goes. Right up my alley. I'm a sucker for all of these kind of flip and write or roll and write type games. So check that one out. Again, that is Flip Voyage and Fliptown with about a week to go and well funded, over $100,000 of its $9,000 goal. And finally, in Kickstarter, I got one game found, but finally in Kickstarter, another one that's got about a week to go. This is Land vs. Sea Uncharted expansion and custom meeples. Now, Land vs. Sea is a very cool kind of tile laying game, which is a lot of fun to play. Really easy to learn, quick to play game as well. This is kind of an expansion and does have some other meeples which come with the game, this expansion. You can get the all-in where you get the regular base game and the expansion and the meeples for $59. Or you can get Land vs. Sea with the expansion for $45, or you can just get all the new stuff for about $38. So again, this is a really cool, has that, if you know what Carcassonne is, I'm not going to say it's Carcassonne, but has that feel. So if you like games, tiling games that have that visual spatial element that are a lot of fun like Carcassonne, this one's going to be up your aisle. But it is a lot of fun, and it is a very chill game. This one is by Good Games USA. They put out a lot of good stuff. They're right there in indie as well. Another solid one that is funded already. Heading on over to GameFound for our last thing of today. Now, I love Sword and Sorcery. I talk about things like this all the time. I love dungeon crawlers, and I love Sword and Sorcery. This is a new system. I'm going to have to see if anybody will come to the Discord and let me know if you've used this system. Now, this one is Teberu Dungeon Sword and Sorcery. Now, apparently, Teberu Dungeon is kind of a way to play games. Now, companies have kind of tried this in the past, where this is kind of has an electronic system where you've got using your phones or iPads and such, and using this system where everything, kind of all the upkeep and such is handled by the computer, and then it is kind of kicks out things that you're going to do, or what the AI is going to do. It helps you to upgrade your characters and everything, and it helps with the setup, helps with running the game and everything. Now, that is Teberu, which I haven't seen before, but again, other companies have tried this sort of thing in the past, so I'd love to see how much it is, or if people are interested or do like this thing. But I absolutely love Sword and Sorcery. Now, this is kind of the adaptation of Sword and Sorcery in the Teberu kind of area. I have the base game of Sword and Sorcery, which I absolutely love, but this is kind of the adventure pledge you can get in for $220. And I think they have one where if you already have the base game, you can get right in there. So the adventure pledge, it's designed for backers who want a completely new to Sword and Sorcery, where if you already have the Sword and Sorcery, you need a conversion kit. About 70 euros will get you that kit for if you already own Sword and Sorcery. So for somebody like me, the conversion pledge right there. So I'm not sure if you need kind of the Teberu itself or whatever that would be, but maybe it's just kind of an app that you just buy this whole thing. I'd love to see some more information. I'll have to look this up. Maybe we'll talk about this one on the Discord as well. But this one is definitely something up my alley, because if it makes playing this easier, not that it's hard to play solo, but if it kind of can mix up things with Sword and Sorcery, and also keep track of, because there's a lot of stuff to keep track of when you're done playing Sword and Sorcery and pack that up. So I'm right in the middle of a campaign on that one, and I've got everything kind of in their own baggies. So if it's something that can help you play solo, that's something I'll have to really look into. But anyway, that is Teberu Dungeon Sword and Sorcery. Those are a lot of great kind of crowdfunding for this week. So I'd love to hear what everybody has to think about that one. So thanks for joining me today. If you see any news you think I'd like to feature, shoot me a message at GeekJockDan on Twitter. Or you can also find me on Instagram at The Geek All Stars. And you can also check out Majorspoilers.com for more content by Steven and the rest of the Major Spoilers crew. And also check out my show, The Geek All Stars Podcast. We'll be recording a new show this week for post-Gen Con as well. As always, I am Dan the Board Game Man, and I'll see everyone in a couple of weeks for another Munchkin Minute.
This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.